Welcome back to the LCS for game number 3 between Team Liquid and 100 Thieves. The series is all tied up at 1-1. And for the first time in this series, we will see Team Liquid over on the red side by their own choosing, with 100 Thieves hopping to blue. We've talked a little bit about how we like that style that 100 Thieves brings out in game number 2, but how do they retain that now on the opposite side and with TL able to switch up their bans?
I mean, it's a great meta for aggressive play right now. So I don't think, even if TL targets some of these things specifically, maybe they bump that Aurelia ban up into the first phase because, there's obviously a priority on it.
Yeah.
Even if they do that, I still want to see them going for something more aggressive.
I think something they'll probably look for is the first pick, Lee Sin. Diana's already banned out, but I think they made the option to go for Lee Sin even when Xin Zhao is available. They'll probably end up banning it just because what happened in the first game makes a lot of sense. We'll see. I think that's going to be the priority is between two of those junglers. Another idea is that Olaf was banned in the last game. Renekton, I think, has to be a consistent ban from Team Liquid regardless, though. They've banned Renekton in the past 2 games already, and I think that's just something that 100 Thieves will always go to. It's the comfort pick there for someday.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I would actually like to see 100 Thieves just consider actually leaving the Lee Sin up. I think right now, Lee Sin is a bit more of a priority for TL because they can flex the pick, but I think 100 Thieves should actually look to take Xin on the... Oh.
Yeah, just want to jump in here
disagree.
real quick. There's a graphical error, but all of the bans are in. Trundle and Aphelios are the other 2 bans that you do not see on your screens right now, but all of the bans are in. None have been missed.
Do we know
With
what
LeBlanc being hovered here, but a quick
Viego.
swap to Viego
There
at the last second for the first pick.
There it is. Okay, so the Viego pick was banned in game 1 by Team Liquid, so this has just been something that 100 Thieves will always go towards in the regular season. A Viego first pick being flexed between mid, jungle, and top, so it's also just been a great pick for Closer.
I was going to say the same thing, dude. Closer popped off
Yes.
the playoffs earlier on the pick. I think that's why you saw it not getting through until now. But, I mean, instantly TL goes right. I love it.
Yeah.
Tactical,
Yeah.
Tactical is
I'm
like...
excited for this game.
Tactical's
Yeah,
like,
this is good.
get me off Ziggs, dude.
Yes.
He's got a good Ziggs. It's a great pick, but I think this is him being like, I want
The LeBlanc to follow, though, too, right? Like, agency. That early game gauntlet's been thrown, and TL wants to step up to it.
And the Callista, right? This is a lane-dominant pick that also gives you the engage that we know TL loves to have because they are the better early game team on average. So what I want to see from 100 Thieves is a response where they say, okay, if you're going to have picks like this, I want to see them drafting heavy engage supports to sort of counter out the fact that TL is going for such an aggressive early game on their own side.
Almost guaranteed that Team Liquid are going to go like Lee Sin third. I think it's such a good pick with LeBlanc. It really wraps up the identity of Team Liquid's composition of striking early, striking bot side. Lissandra, we've seen this one internationally.
Yep.
And it works really well with Viego. Just basically play that 2v2 really well. Nice. I want to see what Team Liquid ends up
Shade
going
him up,
for
boy,
here.
Po Belter. Lissandra's been here in the LCS too, my friend.
I mean,
True.
it's been here. Haven't seen it in playoffs yet, but with the LeBlanc's prominence coming out internationally, more teams have been picking it up.
Yeah.
It does make it very hard for the LeBlanc to play. I mean, it's early laning phase, we have a lot of pressure, and you can have that threat, but it just makes it really annoying for LeBlanc to play out the mid to late game where she wants to be popping over walls, throwing this damage down onto the different carries, and if you go too far forward, you just get CC'd.
Yep, and I know we talked about the Lee Sin LeBlanc being a potent combo, but I love the I love the
Xin Zhao.
Lee Sin. Lezin? I don't know what to call it. Because it also, Xin is really, really good into Lee early game. So even if 100 Thieves opts to pick up the Lee, now because Xin and Lee were both left open, which I think was a good call by TL, they have the option to pick the stronger early game jungler and leave 100 Thieves in a position where now they're on Viego, which is going to be weaker. And if they want to pick Lee Sin, they want to flex Viego, they're still in the weaker mid jungle matchup.
I think Leona is going to be a great 4 pick here for Team Liquid. I think it works well for both compositions. So I'm expecting a Braum ban here, just so they can still have at it. There it is. So the Braum ban makes a lot of sense. It forces 100 Thieves to ban Leona. And then I think probably Team Liquid would just go towards a Nautilus. Oh, they're just going to leave it open.
I like this more. I feel like the bot lane, depending on what you pick, you can actually, with Tristana, get some all-in threat. I mean, Alistar Trist was an old combination into Callista to get some kill threat. I don't know if they'll do it again, but you can pick other things.
Blind Gnar here?
I would go Leona in general. I think there is value.
Ooh,
Yeah.
blind
Oh,
Renekton.
wow.
We're blind.
Wait a
It
second,
slipped
how did
through.
this slip through?
Wow, we even talked about how the expectation was that the Renekton would be on the ban table, given it is one of Sunday's most popular and consistent picks, but being left up all the way to the 4 pick, and TL's happy to take it here.
And actually, I see this, and I kind of wonder now, did 100 Thieves make a mistake here by letting Renekton through and not picking it before the ban phase? Because this is one of the most important picks for Someday to actually have agency.
I think it's fine because Gnar is a good pick into it. And also, it's another pick that 100 Thieves has been really consistent on during the regular season. So I think it's a conscious choice saying, we just think Gnar is the better choice into Renekton. So we'll see what the pick is to round out the draft for 100. But for Team Liquid, they'll be able to get the counter pick into the Rel. And so for Rel, you can either go Leona, you can go Braum. I would personally like Leona here for Team Liquid.
Ooh, this is an old combination.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Core JJ has been one of the best Tarics, probably in the world, but definitely North America. And so if he did go that direction, Kalista Taric does have pretty potent fighting. It does make it a little awkward for the Lissandra, who wants to go in and buy a lot of time, and this allows you to kind of negate that stasis period where both teams are kind of staring at each other, but they go Gragas. All right.
Well, I mean, I think similarly, though, Gragas does some of those same things, having an ability to disengage on some of that, with the ultimate, whereas, say, a Leona wouldn't have the same ability.
And a better laning, matchup versus Rel.
And
if Rel ever wants to go in, just body slam her, it makes it very difficult for her to find an engage.
Yeah. So I just gotta say, I love the TL draft.
Yep.
I love the hyper aggression. You get the ability to kill in all 3 lanes. And I think when we think about the things that makes TL so good, it's the fact that they have good mid jungle and top jungle coordination, and they can constantly be a threat to you. And now with TL also having a Kalista bot lane, they're gonna have priority there and the ability to go for chain ganks at level 6.
And I think it's just going to be difficult for Closer to get possessions this game. It's going to be always hard to get it on Gragas, the kind of zoning that he has. Same thing goes for Renekton. It's going to be a difficult one. We'll see how the team fights shape up.
Santorin wiping the sleep from his eyes, ready to dominate here in game number 3 with another aggressive Xin pick. I love some of the adjustments out of TL. Question is, does 100 Thieves have the read to stuff them here in game number 3? All tied up as we head into this 3rd bout for our total best of 5 between Team Liquid and 100 Thieves. Out onto the Rift in just a moment, and back over to Captain Flowers and Kobe.
All right, everybody, let's do it. Game number 3. We're all tied up here, going into our, we'll call it second half of the series. I know it's not quite there, but you know what? I'm rounding up. So we can, wait, did that shopkeeper just bonk that yak on the head? Do you ever notice they did that?
I did not catch it. I didn't see a thing. My head was turned.
Somebody call PETA. The shopkeeper's beating up the yak.
Who's going to protect the yaks?
Somebody's got to look out for the yaks, and somebody's got to look out for game 3 here, man. I'm excited after game number 2. I love it when we get to see 2 very dominant performances on both sides of it. That just means that the name of the game is adaptation. Who can figure out what the other side's doing faster?
And my biggest thing to pull from Champion Select was the last pick from Team Liquid. This Gragas for Core JJ. This is the first Gragas of his career. He has not played a Gragas support game here, and it's a really good pick into Rel. We'll get into those interactions later, though, because we've got a sideline interview. Well, Tigress has Cold standing by.
Thank you so much. Quite the turnaround in game number 2. A lot of 2v2 focus, a Vayne pick coming out. What did you take away from that loss?
We just wanted to make the series a little bit more fun, like a little bit more games. We felt like the other series we had where we just go 2-up was like a little bit too boring to watch. So we wanted to make it fun for the viewers. So yeah.
The fans aren't complaining for sure. We're also continuing to see these evolutions in the draft, some new picks. What do you think Team Liquid needs to do just to be able to break the confidence that 100 Thieves is building?
Kill the enemy nexus.
Kill the enemy nexus. That's great advice from Cold. Let's go back to the casters.
You gotta love the sassy responses. He's trolling. Hey.
You gotta call a troll when you see a troll.
You gotta protect that that information. Don't give away your hand. That's the plan here for Team Liquid. Let's see if they can manage to get it done. He said they wanted a more exciting series, so let's hope we get a high-octane game number 3 here for us. Both of our junglers are starting off on the bottom side of the map, which means we could get some scuttle crab violence here in a couple minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't actually give away insight during a series.
No.
So respect it here, though, from Cold. He's been such a good influence on this team and has had a big part as far as the reimagining of how Team Liquid has seen the game. You know, obviously they've got very strong in-game voices of Tactical, of Core JJ. You know, but I feel like he's stepped up in a very big way with the tumultuous season that Team Liquid have had.
And now down here in the bottom lane, you can see Team Liquid having control over this right now early on. You already talked about Kalista having that priority, just the strength of this champion in the lane. Tactical will keep on shoving that up as Core JJ makes sure that they're giving that cannon gold to both players. And that is a mighty big wave colliding into the turret, with Closer making his way into top lane now. We'll see if Alfari can be in a good enough spot for this.
Yeah, Closer saw the ward expire as he's walking up the river, so he knows that he's been seen, and that wave will slowly push back. It's very easy to tell, so as a jungler, you should definitely know this for top lane, but never mind, we're going to have a fight towards mid, I think, sir.
Scuttle crab. Never mind, into a bottom lane 2v2. Tactical's losing a lot of HP, but FBI is doing the same. First blood goes over to Core JJ, but both AD carries will fall. Another 2v2 here in the top side river. Abadaga goes forward and he finds the lockdown onto Santorin, who flashes away to make sure he's not really in trouble just yet. Wants the 3-talent strike and he gets it onto Closer, but the damage keeps coming in. Closer finds the kill, and now with the reset ready to go, Jensen has no further way to fight. 100 Thieves win the mid-jungle 2v2.
More blood for the blood god flowers.
Skulls for the skull throne.
Bottom lane double KO. Both AD carries down as we get the rend and the explosion at the same time, and it's just the supports left down there to try and tend to the minion wave, which Team Liquid are happy to receive right in front of their turrets. They can just slowly wean off a couple of these extra minions and gain more out of this, because you watch in the initial setup here. Okay, Core JJ remounts and flashes for the flip over with the W. So that's instant. You can't react to that. Gets him in the perfect spot for the rocket jump in, but then Tactical doesn't back down during it. You know, the rend comes out, he gets the kill, and the explosion afterwards means it was a double KO. But here, Santorin goes back onto the Lissandra, who still has flash, and if you go into these 2v2s and you don't focus down the Viego, if they get one kill there, you know you got to get out of there immediately. So right after picking up the Xin Zhao body, Jensen is able to disengage and leave it at just the one loss, but that is a rough loss for them.
Yeah.
You're running the LeBlanc into Lissandra matchup. You can't be giving those over.
Jensen nearly with a solo kill onto Abadaga, who does manage to get away. Has his teleport to get back into this lane as soon as he goes back and shops. Jensen will do the same thing. Doesn't want to miss out on any timing here.
And when we started talking about Champ Select, the first thing that you said to me, Flowers, is Closer's Viego.
Yeah.
You were really enamored with it. He had these hard carry performances with it. Now he's got early money on this champion. So adept at snowballing, and he's been one of the ones who has been very good when there are souls to pick up that have movement abilities. I.e. this game, where literally every single champion is going to allow you to chase down further champions if you get any soul resets. It's looking like a very scary possibility for Viego game. If you're the side of Team Liquid, you're already thinking, hey guys, what are we going to do about stopwatches, about Guardian Angels? Because those are the only things you can really do to stuff a Viego once he starts snowballing, is try and get one of these combo breaker items, and you try and solve the problem that way. Focus them with CC.
And Closer doesn't even have to have an amazing start to pop off on this champion. I was actually spectating one of his solo queue games the other day, and they started off, I believe, the score was some sort of abomination. It was like 15-2, and Closer himself started off 0-5. He came back and won that game with a score of, I think, 16-7.
Yeah.
He hard carried on this champion because Viego can completely warp a team fight. As you already said, if he's not properly focused, welcome to Reset City, Population U. By the way, it sucks to live here if you're not Viego.
I'm one of those guys. I just keep typing out, just wait until I hit my 0.5 power spike, then I die again. Oh, just wait until I hit my 0.7 power spike, die again. Oh, wait, don't worry, now I'm never going to give up.
Well, hey, he didn't give up. He got the dub, and now that he's set up for success here in this game, I'm excited to see what he can do moving forward on this champion. Both of our junglers do only have 1 stack left on their knife, so that means we're almost at the point where those challenging smites can come in and provide them with even more dueling power and scrapping capability. No level 6 for either one of the junglers, but all 4 solo laners have hit that point. Neither one of our 80 carries are there.
And remember this discussion that we had in game number 1, where I was talking about Team Liquid don't have to play Core JJ leave lane. They can play the dominant bottom lane with Kalista picks, with Caitlyn picks for themselves. They've shown it. They've done it. And Tactical here, with his hands on it, with Core JJ on the Gragas into Rel, which you can interrupt half of the moves, by the way, are setting themselves up for this river control. Team Liquid want to be able to use these aggressive lane picks that they've got for themselves to earn this early advantage, to start picking up some earlier dragons and start mining their own gold advantages so that you can actually force these fights, because they have invested heavily in a lot of these early proactive lane setups for themselves. And after shoving out here, going to be able to retreat into that river. They aren't actually going to pull it out, though. Just eat up a couple more honey fruit.
And you saw the spawn animation there in the bottom left part of your screen. Rift Herald now on the map. Normally we are seeing teams prioritize that pretty early on. Some days already drawing the aggro of it over here as Jensen will roam up, see that this is happening, and immediately stop that from going any further. He can also get a little bit of extra vision score clearing out this control ward. Santorin right next to him too, just in case there's any potential for some sort of a pick or a fight. But now that Abadaga and Closer are rotating over, this 2v2 becomes even more difficult now, because if you focus Lissandra, she casts her ult on herself, she heals up. If you focus Viego, he's able to try to escape or grab the reset using the iframes on his ulti. Both of them have very good mechanisms to avoid trouble. So Team Liquid's going to have good focus here as multiple players rotate up for the Herald.
I would say kill Viego every time. Kill that Viego or make him ult himself out of there. Meanwhile, we've got River Control, Alfari fully stacked Rage Bar on the Renekton.
But some days the same. Narbar is ready. He could transform, but considering it would be a 1v5, I would recommend against it, and Someday just walks on out. Rift Herald over to the side of Team Liquid. Someday gets the wallop, so Alfari can't chase him, and that's that.
And again, this is the correct move from both sides because of the champions that they've chosen. When you choose these lane matchups for blind picking this Renekton and having him build up his rage, head into the river first. You've got Xin Sao already on the objective first. LeBlanc trying to go for these chunks on Abadaga, and they have the early rotation over. It's a full commitment there from the side of Team Liquid, so they brute force because they know they need to get the early gold from Rift Herald. Meanwhile, bottom side, 100 Thieves also just have Tactical, or have FBI stay down there. He pushes the wave in. He is Tristana, so he gets a turret plate for himself on the bottom side of the map, and they're going to be able to take the consolation prize here of the dragon, unless there's some weird stuff going on with Core. He's only level 5, so it can't get too weird.
I don't think there's enough weirdness in the tank for this one. Abadaga takes an early claw to get out of the way of the body slam. That's always the trick you want to do against Lissandra when she tries to take the claw, is CC her while the claw is out, let its lifetime expire, and then she is stuck. Abadaga recognizes, hey, it's time to get out of here before that body slam connects, and does manage to clear the terrain.
I just really admire the choice from 100 Thieves there in the poise. You know, they don't give up anybody around that Rift Herald possible fight. They could have been disastrous. And you saw when you got that little glimpse of the FTX gold chart that FBI actually benefited from it with the Tristana. It's one of the best champions to keep bottom. You explode the wave with your explosive shot. You can get up to the turret very quickly and got the single turret plate. So it's not fully mined back value of the objective, but definitely is something, and it puts the Tristana in a comfortable scenario. You see Tactical invested in early steel caps for himself on that Kalista, because he does not want to have to worry about the Viego plus Tristana early on. Viego ganks coming through. He wants to play as aggressively as possible. This CS lead from him, by the way, comes from the earlier stages right before the Rift Herald commitment of the half rotation up, the pushing lane for them, forcing them off the tower, forcing denied CS, and the big double KO, which resulted in a giant wave being pushed onto the side of Team Liquid, and a lot of minions denied that way.
Now, with this game being as close as it is, it means that every single play that happens, every single advantage that is earned, could be the thing that starts the snowball going heavier and heavier towards your team's side. There's a lot of opportunity here for either team, and it's 100 Thieves who are rotating jungler and support towards mid lane. But hey, Team Liquid are saying that looks like a pretty good idea. Don't mind if we do. He goes in, and Core JJ's your target. They're immediately looking to try to turn it around, and Core JJ's walking out. Abadag is in a bad spot, and Jensen's grabbing the kill, but Closer's now got a reset potential here in a Core JJ. Tactical joins the fight, and he's going to be the next focus. Santorin tries to stay alive. He's walking away with 200 HP. They're going in. They need one more auto attack, and FBI gets it. He's likely to die next as Alfari has entered into the fight. FBI and Closer now on the wrong side of the map. It is a 4-3 game. FBI is still running. Has to flash away to make sure he doesn't die.
That was a pretty heavy 100 Thieves commitment considering they don't have the teleport on Someday. There's a couple seconds still left on it. Alfari had started to walk down on the Renekton and try and close it out, but Someday stays top. He pushes the wave. He gets it into the tower too, so Team Liquid racking up a little bit there as well, in addition to trying to really focus targets for 100 Thieves, trying to focus down bodies so they can get Closer those souls. They weren't able to get Santorin down quick enough for it to get one more reset for him, and then they had to scramble out afterwards, but quite valiant effort there. And Core JJ, that was a critical flash to delay, or else he was almost instantly dead, but he barely got the timing to be able to flash out of the first ultimate and delay that reset a little bit.
And this is one of the risky things about support Gragas. If you don't have a stopwatch, if you don't have a Zhonya's or something similar, they can focus you down, and it's pretty easy to just blow him up.
Yeah, and the biggest part about it was that he uses Fog of War. He goes into the brush, so if Gragas has vision of you, or if he has the quick enough reaction time, then you can body slam the W, but he makes sure to pop his ultimate and flash. So that basically reduces any reaction time that Core JJ can possibly have to make the play down to 0. And so that's why he gets focused so hard, and it's a very good initiation from to allow them that opening. But no soul for the reset here means they've got to bail out of it. 3 members of Team Liquid with Alfari arriving means they've got the numbers advantage. And as we said, the teleport still had a few seconds on it left for Someday there, so that's why they were able to chase him out of the river.
Invade coming here for the blue buff from 100 Thieves. They want to steal this one away, and they will get it. Smite comes down from Closer to guarantee that. We have hit that 14-minute mark. It means turret plating is now gone. Turrets are much easier to kill, and with the early game pretty well wrapped up, it's 100 Thieves that have an FTX gold lead of around 600. Not an incredible lead, but they did come out on top here so far. 2-0-1. Closer, the big winner here of the early game.
Yeah, and a lot of this carry potential as far as these compositions that we've seen with multiple teams trying, especially Evil Geniuses, the Viego plus Tristana carry, and then having 3 other components of your team comp be set up in CC, have been just so effective in these later game team fights. When you've got Lissandra and Gnar and Rel all trying to set up for Tristana and Viego resets, it is so hard for your opponents to avoid. They have to be extremely quick in their decisive moments that they pick, because once you start getting Tristana multiple rocket jump resets, Closer popping off as well, it goes from bad to worse. So that's why I really highlighted some of the item choices you can use against these comps that are so popular to try and avoid those reset scenarios, the stopwatches, the Guardian Angels. Team Liquid, though, trying to rush down to this dragon, just find themselves a little bit too late.
Yeah, they had to go back because they needed to purchase the mythic items for both Jensen and Tactical. Luden's and Immortal Shieldbow both being huge if a potential team fight is to break out there, but they couldn't get back to the pit in time, which means 100 Thieves now have a 2-0 Drake lead, with Mountain Soul being the possible goal here 10 minutes from now. It would be, even if they get the next 2 very quickly, around a 25-minute Soul. Not the fastest in the world, but still pretty swift and very powerful if Team Liquid can't find a way to shut down the stack. Now Alfari and Someday getting into it here up around the Rift Herald. It's Team Liquid who bringing in the backup first. Rift Herald's now their target. They want to make sure they can just steal this one away, and they've got it. Can 100 Thieves find any sort of a punish here? Lissandra Claw goes through. Santorin with a disengage. Closer's going to be knocked forward, but he's ready to go and back him up. Can they stop the resets before they come through? Santorin will be the first to die, and now they're off to the races. 100 Thieves looking for even more. Core JJ running away, staying alive. Jensen with the pop, and he's going to be your target next. Alfari stunned up into the wall, but he gets a beautiful heal. Some days jumping the wrong way. TL getting the outplays, but Viego's got the resets. Closer keeps going, but he's going, gone. Someday stands against 3, and 3 take him down. Double kill for Jensen, and a Bud Light ace for Team Liquid.
What a hero there. FBI jumps forward trying to get that reset kill on Core JJ, and Jensen makes him pay for it, Flowers. Once you take out that Tristana, you take out one of the 2 main carries for 100 Thieves. That was his hubris there, going for this extra kill from FBI, and a big punish by Jensen, by Team Liquid. They're already running for the hills because they see it coming. With the Lissandra engage, it's incredibly threatening, trying to focus down one member. Core JJ knocks in Closer, and they try and focus him, but it's a big save from the Rel engage, and it starts to look good. Santorin goes down for 100 Thieves. They get their first reset. Body picked up. So they're saying, go forward. FBI jumps in, trying to get Closer, but Jensen plus Core JJ's barrel just blow him up. Once he's down, trying to work around this Renekton, Alfari's massive Gore Drinker, then slice and dice back to the other way, delays so long that while Closer can't pick up his body, they burst him down immediately. Jensen again gets a critical kill. You can't be stopped, but you can be killed while you're in your ult animation. And then Jensen pops him with the distortion. Just a second away from getting the Viego Dream reset there from Closer. If he had gotten that ultimate down and gotten the kill onto Jensen, that would have been a 100 Thieves victory. But critical executions there from Jensen on the 2 carries. He takes down FBI, he then takes down Closer later, and Team Liquid find themselves with the team fight victory.
Yeah, and you could see on the damage chart, it was Closer and Alfari topping things there, really getting a lot done. Closer on the Viego, obviously the win condition. You've talked about how he and the Tristana are the 2 cannons and everybody else is there to facilitate. But for Alfari, remember that game number 2 ended with his scoreline being 0-2-1. When he was on the Gangplank side lane role, when his job was not to influence these fights as heavily early, it didn't work out for him, and he's here to change that in game 3.
Yeah, he was not getting in there in that game. You know, he was kept out on the sidelines for so long. He's certainly getting in the middle on Renekton. That Gore Drinker plus the Q heal on 3.
Yep.
Surviving so long, buying time, slice and dicing back and forth, delaying the Viego possible reset. Every second you delay that so he can't pick up the soul is so critical for them, and it mattered so much, allowing Jensen to be the real star here. 4 kills now on the LeBlanc. That damage is so critical, and him finding the kills on the carries, him focus fire and choosing the correct targets, is going to be the make or break for Team Liquid. But I will say, he probably won't get an open look at FBI again. FBI with the rocket jump forward, exposing himself to the LeBlanc like that, was really reaching to try and get the Gragas kill on Core JJ.
And now for 100 Thieves, they have to deal with a dragon that is spawning in 40 seconds. Yes, they have the 2-0 lead. They would love to get that 3rd one and really keep pushing for this win condition, but they are down 2,000 gold. So we'll see if they're willing to meet Team Liquid in open ground and fight for this objective.
And Team Liquid would really love to pressure on the side lanes first, because again, they're a little bit fearful of the 5-on-5 full setup. If Lissandra...
We already got it. Tactical's going to be your target. He's getting away for now. He will survive, and the counterattack starts with Team Liquid going in. Santorin's able to find the damage. FBI's already dead. Closer's on the run, and Alfari is on the hunt. Closer escapes, but the same can't be said for the rest of 100 Thieves. Abadaga manages to get out with half HP, but you know what I like even more than a Mountain Drake, Kobe? I like Baron.
Oh, Baron's on the menu, Flowers, and Team Liquid are hungry. FBI said open up. They said okay. Come right in the middle of the fight. He rocket jumped in on top of the Lissandra engage, but it was a self-Lissandra ult. That thing's not going to protect the Tristana, and Team Liquid just burned down one of the carries again. Tactical, or FBI took a seat. Tactical will get the Baron. They will let them get to Soul Point, and Team Liquid will get the Baron. So this is really going to be a nice push and pull.
Yeah.
Because with the Baron, there's so much importance on Team Liquid making use of that split push that I'm talking about. If they do not, and if 100 Thieves are able to pull out a big surprise pick or a fight right before Dragon Soul point, all of a sudden, you give Mountain Soul over to this team that has so much reliable setup in one of these scenarios. That could be something that pulls 100 Thieves right back into the driver's seat for this game. It's a calculated choice from Team Liquid, though. As you said, you prefer the Baron because this gives you priority. It's so much golden experience, and then you can also go push extremely hard with it. And they need to get those side lanes working so they can mine more advantages off of 100 Thieves before they set up for the next fight.
Exactly. Team Liquid needs to get value out of the next 2 minutes and 3 seconds of this Baron buff. That way they're in a position of strength to guarantee that 100 Thieves cannot complete that 4th part and get that soul.
Because they know they're on a timer. They're not trying to go late here. They want to end this game quickly. So Baron accelerates that game plan, their goals, their win conditions.
Now up top, Alfari is working on the tier 1 turret. Should be able to take that one down. It is the last remaining tier 1 for the side of 100 Thieves. There you go, more gold for the side of TL. Nearly 6,000 now, your FTX gold advantage for their side, as Core JJ is sitting on top of the board, so 100 Thieves knows exactly what's going on here.
We got the surveillance on him.
Yeah, this isn't exactly going to be the surprise, but hey, they don't really need the surprise. They got the minion wave. They're pushing onto the tier 2 turret. Don't want to overextend here, though. Jensen is over in mid lane, pressuring onto that tier 2, as Abadaga's in the bottom lane, trying to get something back, but now he'll be retreating. You can see some pings coming out from TL saying, all right, this guy's nowhere nearby. He will have teleport to join if Team Liquid goes for anything crazy, but for now, they're happy just doing the slow and steady, push the waves up, take the turrets, and build the gold lead.
And Jensen is definitely going to be who Abadaga has his eyes on. The Lissandra counterpick into LeBlanc is so much about trying to punish this LeBlanc. Somebody's got to get that Banshee's Veil off of him, though, because Jensen, again, for another game, is able to get second item. Banshee's Veil protects you from being locked down. The one failing of LeBlanc here versus the Lissandra matchup is if you don't have your shield up and Lissandra's able to just stop you in your place with the ultimate. They try and burst you down with their AoE, and so Jensen now can play it aggressively.
And you say, hey, this is the second game that we're seeing the Banshee's Veil second from Jensen on a mage. This is also the second game that Jensen puts 10 stacks on the Dark Seal and says, you know what? Let's get a little bit more.
He's an avid reader, my friend.
I enjoy that.
An
Not
enjoyer
reading,
of,
but the item.
of Skarner lore.
Yeah. We're in there. All right, Jensen, let's see if you can put some more pages in the book. As red buff will be secured by FBI. 100 Thieves at least will not lose that minor resource. Under 2 minutes until Drake. The Baron has dissipated now. We got about 3 minutes until that one respawns. Team Liquid will continue controlling the waves, continue pushing up. Bright side for 100 Thieves. They did not have the base cracked open on that first Baron. You talk about Team Liquid having these picks like a Kalista, like a LeBlanc, like a Renekton, wanting to accelerate the game. Keeping your base intact is a big deal. Abadaga's going to be knocked back by Core JJ, but the Claw is timed properly to get him away. Jensen jumping in now, knowing that Abadaga does not have that escape mechanism any longer. He's going to be bursted down. He's going to be focused. Who he going in for the counterattack? Alfari stays alive with a big old heal yet again, and it's a double kill for Tactical. Someday gets back. FBI and Closer doing the same, but there's no chance to take down anyone from TL.
And you get out Team Liquid. All they want is to force plays, Flowers. They want to push this timer ahead, and they do just that. Really nice initiation from Core JJ. This is the man who starts it all out. He catches out Abadaga, forces out the Claw, forces out everything. Self-ult comes through, and Jensen is able to rotate over just in time to capitalize on this opening that Core makes. And this is the way that Team Liquid are able to force it through. They get the kill, they get the secondary tower, they further increase this gold lead. Now up to 8.2K, plus all of the wards leading up to the Dragon. Gives them so much of an opportunity to pull out some of these LeBlanc poke plays. There's Corey, goes in, body slam, ult Abadaga back. He gets the Claw out, and just that gets enough distance for Jensen to make his rotation down. You see the Banshee's Veil is popped, doesn't matter. He gets out the ultimate, nowhere for Abadaga to go after that. And even though you've got a relic gauge afterwards, the damage isn't there to follow up on it, and a good ult from Santorin, plus the disengage from the rest of the Team Liquid squad means nobody's in danger of reset execution viability here on the side of 100 Thieves. Without that Lissandra using any offensive setup for them, they can't win the team fight. Team Liquid get the dragon, they cut off the soul point, comeback condition here for 100 Thieves, and it's just up to 100 Thieves to keep chanting, rally caps on backwards, we gotta go late. We're rally caps, we gotta wait for Infinity Edge to come through for Tristana, then maybe on 3 items, Infinity Edge, Tristana, they can pull out the W.
I mean, hey, this is the solo queue game. You're putting it in the chat, DWE scale. I mean, it's a 9,000 gold lead. It's your soul stopped. The deck is stacked against you, but you don't have any choice but try to get to that point. Jensen, Tactical, and Alfari are all very, very strong right now. Santorin, even though none of the money's really on him this game, doing just fine here on the Xin Zhao, has the Gore Drinker, has the Sterix, a stopwatch in inventory as well to make sure that after the ulti falls, he's not a sitting duck. The goal is to not allow Viego to reset. And Alfari is on the flank here. He's in the middle of a bunch of 100 Thieves wards. He can't really leave this brush without getting seen. Maybe if he just goes straight left, but they have no idea that he's here.
Hold. Jensen's walking up, trying to draw out some cooldowns, and Someday does finally find Alfari. They mark the Renekton, no flank comes through.
Okay, so let's see if 100 Thieves can find any sort of a chance here. He takes some poke from Jensen. Abadaga's here over the wall. Remember, he feels pretty safe considering he has the ability to drop the aggro there, become invulnerable with the ulti. Jensen again with poke, this time onto Someday. Takes off about 1,000 HP with that burst. Very, very scary stuff on this very, very fed LeBlanc. 8.8 thousand gold lead for the side of Team Liquid. 100 Thieves still hanging around. Baron is live. A pick here could be a lot of trouble. 100 Thieves can't afford to lose a man. They know it's another Baron for the side of Team Liquid, and another Baron will probably be a broken base for 100 Thieves. These inhibitor turrets are now exposed, although they're all still standing. They will be immediate targets. Team Liquid will chase 100 Thieves away. They will clear out the vision. Look at how dark this map is for the side of 100 Thieves. They drop down the far side trinket. That's all they get. They know that it's do or die.
Exactly. They push down mid lane. Once they get mid prio, retreat to the Baron and bait them in.
And here we go. Jensen's already ready on the side. Closer's going to be knocked away, so he can't find the reset. Abadaga taken low, but it's Alfari slammed back into the wall. Now a lot of AoE going down for both sides with Alfari the first one to drop. Abadaga staying alive, but finally killed off by Santorin with Closer having to run back out. Someday an FBI will be ran down as Tactical is dominating. Jensen finds the pick there on the very back end. Closer is running away. It's all he can do. He can use the mist to escape. He'll go towards the blast cone. He'll get himself out. The great chase, yakety sacks, whatever, it don't matter. The rest of Team Liquid is pushing towards the enemy base. Closer's gonna get chased down. Santorin wants to throw him up into the air. Wind becomes lightning, can't finish off the kill, but it stopped the port. And that's what matters. Team Liquid recognizes that with 10-second death timers on both Abadaga and Huhi, they will not be able to finish this game. Now they have to head back. Closer wants to finish his street call. He wants to get out of here, and he does. Closer makes the great escape, but it's Team Liquid with a team fight win. It's Team Liquid with the mid lane in him, and it's Team Liquid going after Baron number 2.
And they're gonna get their dessert, Captain Flowers. They run down mid, they take the inhibitor first. Baron will be burned down. They've got Rend here, plus, actually Santorin does have Smite, so just the Rend is gonna be reliable enough. Team Liquid get it, they get their reset afterwards. The ring around the rosy through the jungle there of both junglers chasing through finally results in Closer getting out, but Baron rewards to Team Liquid. That's exactly how they can actually end this game. So this all started with the mid push into retreat towards Baron for the bait. Alfari actually flashed on Abadaga, trying to force out the ultimate super early. And him going down here, I thought maybe it would be a pretty big reset. And Closer is able to pick up Alfari's body. But right in the middle, you see that full commitment and Tactical on the front lines with this Kalista. Cannot be trifled with. Tactical is so much work. He runs out both of the both of the 100 Thieves carries and forces them right back to base. Jensen now, by the way, on the LeBlanc, 6-0, has not died, is level 18.
Casual deathless.
Keeps on writing more pages in that book. This LeBlanc burst damage is so critical for them.
Very nicely done from TL here in our third game. 12,000 gold up, man. They got everything going for them. Drake is alive here in 15 seconds. It is a 4-man play here in bottom lane from TL. Alfari is getting the wave shoved up in top, but he has TP to join up with the squad if he needs to. They just got to make sure that they don't get caught out before the TP completes and give Closer a reset or something. Feels like that might be really the only way. Nicely done from Jensen, buffering through the ulti from Abadaga, who can no longer use it defensively. Who he's going in, they've got a lot of control, and they got the reset here for Closer. Jensen's running away with Santorin, trying to tank everybody here in the middle. Jensen right back in with FBI. Oh, they got the shutdown, and Closer's ready to go. Team Liquid, what have you done? 100 Thieves are coming back into it.
Oh, we cursed Jensen! We cursed him down into the grave there! Closer goes into Q, get off the Banshee's Veil, and you see 100 Thieves throw everything at Jensen. Abadaga flashes to ultimate. Even with the W back, they chase him down. They open up the resets. Closer steals Jensen's body. He puts those Magi sacks to good work for the side of 100 Thieves, and they get their soul, Flowers. This is why it's so dangerous to give soul points over. You make one mistake, and they can get that comeback.
Let's take a look at how it happened here in the Roccat Flip the Switch replay.
That is the cue from Closer that got the Banshee's Veil off. They throw everything at him. They use the Lissandra ult, and you think, oh, Abadaga's in a bad spot, but he still has Zhonya's. CoreJJ full commits. Doesn't hit FBI with the ultimate, though, and then, he sets it up. Big engage for him, so Closer gets the reset on CoreJJ. He picks up the Gragas body, and you see him run over the entire team fight, passes Santorin, and finishes off the LeBlanc. Once he picks up that body, it is over. Able to finish him up. Someday just knocks him into the wall, setting them up for the dual carries of 100 Thieves. FBI and Closer can clean up the rest of them. Quadra kill.
This is what we're talking about with how Viego warps the game. He must be focused. If he gets the chance to get these resets and make these plays, that was a 12,000 gold deficit.
And this is why we keep on telling these cautious tales, Flowers. The one mistake against the team on Soul Point can lead to such a huge comeback, and now it's 100 Thieves revitalized and running through mid.
They are pushing down mid like a force of nature, and they are still 6,000 gold behind. Closer is 8-1-3. He is 100 Thieves right now.
This is also why it's imperative to have good target selection with compositions that rely on this sort of strategy. When you are the reset comp, you have to focus these carries down. Able to get the 1,000 gold shutdown is great, but also being able to pick up that body and finish up the rest of the kills.
And ripping the pages out of the book.
Exactly.
Huge.
Meanwhile, now they are the ones that get to reset over the rest of the map. They've got so much work to do to clear out all this vision,
yeah.
But they're making it count.
It is still a bit of a mess for 100 Thieves. There's a lot of catching up to do, but this is a surge for them in a game that had just felt like a beating up until this point. Their inhibitor is respawning in mid lane in 5 seconds, so they don't have that extra pressure on them. They have the ability to regain their footing on the map again, which is very important. Baron is spawning here in 90 seconds. After that, it'll still be a couple minutes before the Elder Drake, but without those little baby Drakes on the map anymore with the soul claimed, that Elder will be huge in deciding the fate of this game.
And again, as we said from Champ Select, all these souls are so good for Viego. All these champions, he's able to pick up and then instantly close more distance. You have dashes on all of them, so it makes the resets incredibly scary. Team Liquid, I think that's why they should be investing in stopwatches in Guardian Angels. And you see one Guardian Angel here built up by Santorin.
But nobody else.
One of the combo breakers. And
where are the other ones?
It's just Jensen relying on Banshee's shield, Banshee's Veil shield to block one, and then no other stopwatches to speak of.
And look at Closer, who has a stopwatch of his own, meaning if they try to focus him down, he will be able to try to stall for the extra 2.5 seconds he needs to get that reset, to get another iframe, and continue popping off here in the fights. Someday also with a stopwatch in his inventory. Over on the other side, Alfari's QSS is ready to go to get him out of some of this crazy CC that is offered by the supporting members of 100 Thieves. Baron alive in 20 seconds. So far, Team Liquid has claimed 2 of those this game. They would love to make it 3, but they will have to outfight 100 Thieves again. Gold lead back down to 6K, which is honestly a pretty strange number to say it's only 6K now, but compared to where they were, that's quite a stark difference. Team Liquid backing up, not super aggressive like we saw in the past. They do have to respect 100 Thieves now. They know what can happen if they misplay a fight.
Yeah, the scaling is starting to really take effect here. FBI is now level 16 on the Tristana. Range continually increasing. 4 item power spike now. He actually took a stop off, did not go for the Infinity Edge. Has the Hex Drinker fully upgraded into Maw of Malmortius now. As Jensen goes in for poke once again. Remember, he's got to be careful with this Banshee's Veil.
Yep.
While you have it on, you are free to harass. You are free to go for this poke. But it's being shrugged off by the Mountain Soul. When 100 Thieves members get chunked out, you just back up, 5 seconds, you get your shield right back. Oh, Abbedagga though.
Abbedagga nearly dying off there, has to use his Zhonya's immediately into his ult just to make sure that he is not under threat of death. Those are huge. Alessandro without a stasis in the middle of a team fight is just a melted popsicle. She can't do a thing. Team Liquid recognizes it, and it's time for the Baron call.
Yeah, that's going to be Abbedagga going back to base. He does have teleport, but the ultimate won't be ready. So 100 Thieves playing with fire here. They've got vision outside the Baron pit. They just need to not overcommit. Don't get picked off while you're waiting for this cooldown to come back up. They send Lissandra bottom. Lissandra will deal with the minion wave. They wait out this treacherous period of no vision inside the Baron pit, and Team Liquid reset.
And look at the defensiveness of Team Liquid. Despite their lead, the scaling power of 100 Thieves, even though Lissandra does not have the ulti, Team Liquid does not want to force a Baron. They know how hard the punish could be.
They invested very heavily in early game and were able to get a lot out of it early on, but 100 Thieves have weathered the storm, Flowers.
Oh boy.
One more level to go for FBI. Hits level 17 now, almost at max range. They're able to push out on bottom side. Elder Dragon arrives in 13 seconds, and 100 Thieves are being able to push out bottom first before it. There is a possible angle for a deep ward behind them. Just going to be Alphari teleporting into lane, though, and joining the rest of the team.
All right, this could be the fight that decides the game. Elder Drake has spawned. Looking at summoner spells, it's everything but Alphari's teleport available for Team Liquid. Everything is available for the side of 100 Thieves. FBI DPSing the Elder Drake, forcing the issue, forcing Team Liquid to come in and try to stop them. Abbedagga losing half HP there to Jensen's poke yet again. Elder Drake at about 8k. Alphari coming around on the side, ready to go for the flank. You know Core JJ is about to come in here too. Alphari will be forced away. Closer ready to deal with him. Someday jumps in, doesn't find a whole lot. Elder Drake at about 4,000. Just about lower than that now as Jensen is ready to go. Core JJ stuck in the middle of everybody. Now he's going to be pulled to safety by Tactical. 100 Thieves is trying to fight their way out of this, but they're on the wrong side. Tactical's grabbing the kill onto Huhi. Santorin over the wall. Core JJ still staying alive somehow as FBI is able to free fire. Team Liquid backing themselves out. Tactical going to be under threat now. He stays alive too. Guardian Angel from Santorin guaranteeing there's not going to be a reset there. Closer keeps on walking, and Jensen's ready to TP back. 100 Thieves are stuck. Jensen is ready to cut off their escape. They want to continue their retreat here. Abbedagga is managing to back inside this brush. He has hidden himself away, and Team Liquid is pursuing everybody else. Closer is dominating, and Core JJ is down. Team Liquid going in, looking for a little bit more. Tactical with the last auto attack, and Closer wants to get him. He'll go for reset number 1. Can he find another? The damage keeps on coming in, and Santorin will stay alive. The Ruined King loses his throne, and now can Abbedagga do anything about it? Santorin's locked down. He's blown up. Alphari continues the chase. Abbedagga buying time, wasting Team Liquid's time, guaranteeing they can't easily get this Drake. He's still stuck in a 1v2. Abbedagga continues running away, takes the claw. He will outplay them. He will escape. Holy cow.
I think that could have been even better for 100 Thieves if they just waited a bit. If FBI waited for Closer to pick up that soul and waited for Abbedagga to teleport back on the Lissandra. When he teleported back on Lissandra, yeah, he can stop them from immediately re-engaging on the Elder Dragon and does get 1 kill back, but these are such small choices here that have very big ramifications. Here's another look at the attempted flank from Alphari. He gets chased out immediately. Then everybody says, ignore this Elder Dragon, go for the fight. 100 Thieves, they actually started out on Closer, who then just gets ulted by Callista. So they immediately charge onto Jensen. They force out his Banshee's Veil, and then there comes the Callista ultimate. Core JJ is back in. They get the first kill onto Huhi, and Rel is down, but Closer and FBI still on the top side of the map. We're able to force out the front line, and it's just an exchange of health bars. Then after Zhonya's is done, they buy time, they buy room for him to disengage down the river, And we're right back out to Elder Part 2, Rumble in the River.
Back to where we began. Team Liquid starting up the Drake themselves this time. Remember that summoner spells, we had all of them earlier, and now a lot are missing. This fight could be very different because of that fact. Someday also with a Guardian Angel, Santorin no longer has his. Closer's gonna go forward. Core JJ's pulled to safety to avoid any kind of a reset. Team Liquid now all grouped up. 100 Thieves still have Someday separated from the rest of the squad. He jumps over the wall trying to group up. He's gonna take a lot of damage here from Jensen. Now it's who he's engaged, and the engage is beautiful. Core JJ is down first with Santorin slammed up into the wall. 100 Thieves are making mincemeat out of Team Liquid. Closer grabs another kill, and it's 5v2 on the map. Elder Drake claimed by 100 Thieves.
And with Elder Dragon also comes Prio towards mid. They immediately spam ping. They're going for the base, Captain Flowers. Reset City is here. 100 Thieves are gonna get right inside that TL base. 30 seconds left on Santorin, 20 seconds left on Core JJ before the reinforcements arrive.
Don't worry, we scale. It is a viable game plan sometimes, my friends. Jensen will die to the Elder Dragon laser, and with the death timers as long as they are, with Tactical now in the dirt, 100 Thieves will weather the storm. They will defeat their opponents after a 12,000 gold deficit, and they will go up to match point.
42 minutes in the making. 100 Thieves. Team fight after team fight. The one mistake from Team Liquid leads to the soul, the mountain soul, the protection against burst damage. Makes Jensen's job so much more difficult. As fed as he is on LeBlanc, he can no longer find his burst potential. 100 Thieves focus. They set up their reset carries effectively this time around. That was a fun one. The push and pull
Unless you were Team Liquid.
The early game investments of Team Liquid and going for that Baron, mining so much gold out of it, trying to end, but missing that critical point.
I mean, everybody's eyes are on the bottom lane play. Alfari's in the top side. He has the teleport. And I said right beforehand, they just have to make sure nothing bad happens before he can channel. All of a sudden, Jensen's locked down. Abadaga has enough stasis to survive without the ulti. And it's time for Closer to do Viego things. That was the breaking moment of this game. And that is how 100 Thieves earned themselves a 2-1 lead here in this series. But now, our friends at Grubhub are sponsoring the LCS Championship this year. And with the new Grubhub guarantee, you can get your food delivered on time at the lowest prices. They're also sponsoring this next segment, where my friend Avali is going to tell us all about Okonomiyaki. Here's another episode of Taste of Local.
I really like comfort food, just something that warms you up. Even when it's 100 degrees outside in LA, that's the food that I like. I love okonomiyaki so much. It's essentially a Japanese pizza, but instead of toppings on the top, it's all kind of mixed together. So one day, all the players took me to this fancy street after an LCS day. I saw this store on the side that was kind of hidden away. And when I tell you that when I walked in and I saw the entire countertop that they had filled with okonomiyaki, I lost everything. After eating it, I kind of sat there and I just felt happy. I was able to eat a dish that I love so much that I never thought I would be able to find outside of Japan. I just love the fact that I could get a taste of anything really, and it's all within my local area.
welcome back to the LCS and the State Farm Analyst Desk. Holy crap, 100 Thieves. Holy crap!
I'm clenching.
What a game! What a comeback!
TMI.
Calm down a little bit.
12K deficit at its peak, and 100 Thieves is able to claw it back against Team Liquid, a Team Liquid that looked very much in control of this game at multiple points throughout.
Multiple points throughout, but the early game, I would say, still went in favor of 100 Thieves. It was another pretty scrappy early game. Both teams have aggressive mid-jungle 2v2s. You look at all the fights that broke out throughout that early game. It started with this all-in the bot lane. I was talking about Tristana all-in potential during Champ Select into Kalista. Yeah, you have that still with the Rel, so they're going to take this all-in, and around the same time, there's also a fight happening up on the top side.
Yeah, and we should actually talk about the fact that TL did not have a more dominant early game, because looking at the draft, you thought that they should, right? If you look at the mid-jungle combo, you have Xin and LeBlanc, right? And a lot of it came down to this outplay right here, where Santorin goes in for a re-engage after already having burned his splash, and I think that really slowed down the tempo for what should have been a TL favorite early game by a significant margin.
I mean, somewhat questionable decision there by Santorin, and honestly, this harkens back to a point you made at the top of the day, Mark, which was questioning whether or not Santorin was going to be able to do to Closer what he was able to do to Spica in their series, and it does look like Closer's having an easier time overall dealing with the pressure.
Yeah, Santorin's not getting the best of him, and I mean, especially in the early game, hey, pretty good by Closer. Put himself in a position to be the most fed member on the 100 Thieves lineup, but then it was really the late game where we saw that, but I think overall, still in the early game, it was pretty scrappy, and the gold lead was in favor of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, and so that was like my biggest fear, and it was becoming a reality as the game went on of how difficult it was going to be for Closer to get that possession. Like, right? The reset, the added HP. Oh my God, that's swagger.
The team is too swagged out.
And he got that. He got that. And it's just by far his best champion.
Yeah.
And I know that you wanted to talk about this, Kais, and just how damn good he was on the Viego, and there's more gameplay to go around.
Yeah, the pop-off by him will come later. The first thing I want to highlight was how they ended up losing this game. There's a lot of individual mistakes. There was that fight where FBI jumped too far in. Then in this one, Abadage is kind of signaling to his team, hey, I have tactical here. He's going to get the W down, and you think he's going to follow up with the ultimate? Core JJ is threatening the body slam ult, and Abadage prioritizes self-ulting to dodge Core JJ's combo instead of locking tactical down, which baits the rest of the team too far in. So when you roll this forward, it looks like Core JJ was trolling on first view, like, oh, he missed everything, but it's because of the self-ult, but that allows tactical to get out. Now FBI is way too far forward. He's going to be the first one blown up because there was just miscommunication on the execution from 100 Thieves side. And that puts them in such a hole that you think, okay, this game's over after this point because they get Baron for free.
Exactly, and they weren't even close to getting the kill on the Kalista. She, at the very tail end, her shield bow procs, right? And that goes to show how difficult it is for them to try and dive in and get these picks, and it was working out from TL from that point of the game.
Now we're going to go to where I know you've been waiting to get you guys in, and that is Closer, turning it on in the late game when everything's on the line, coming up big with a quadra here in the bot lane.
And how damn good is this guy on Viego? The answer is too damn good, right? Like, look, so first we need to acknowledge the setup. TL has no business looking for a fight here because it's a 3v5, right? You see that not all of the team is there, and they realize once the fight has already started, oh shoot, we got a TP in. But at that point, it's already too late. And Raz, you talked earlier about the difficulty of getting possessions on Viego, but the thing is, in a 5v3 scenario where you get to front load your damage, now you're set up for Closer to go in, get those possessions, get those resets, and this puts his team back in the game because going into this point, they actually had the Dragon Stack advantage. So this now allows them to go for Mountain Soul, and once you get Mountain Soul, it's a whole new game.
That is one of the most brutal looks that we've ever taken of a team in between a game 3 and a game 4.
100 Thieves huddled up.
100 Thieves all hyped up together as a squad. You go over to the
He's resting his eyes
right now, and heads
He's looking at he's checking his phone.
Heads are on the table, but again, returning to this man right here on your screen, Closer, one of our candidates for Honda MVP when it comes to the split long performance that he's put up for 100 Thieves. Always a catalyst for their success, and he turns it on here today when they need it the most.
Yeah, I mean, people forget about it because of that trough near the end of the regular season, but they were just trouncing people for the majority of the summer split, and they're turning it back on right now. So there's a reason that every single time you go on Twitter, the MVP votes are just going in Closer's favor. Sure, he's got the fan base back in Turkey, but also people recognize his strength.
Yeah, and his peaks have been crazy all split. You remember the Diana game. Now, multiple Viego performances where he puts a team on his back. And that's why when they have blue side of the series, they chose to first pick the Viego because it puts you in a scenario where no matter what, Closer can potentially turn a fight around for you single-handedly.
Okay, I'm a little torn, everyone. I'm a little torn with the information that I have at my disposal right now, which is that TL is selecting red side here in this game. Now, I understand that at some points within this game, they were in control and in a very large winning position, but it did go the other way. And yet they're still choosing to stick to the same side, Raz. So as you have strong opinions, I know, on side select as a whole, I do want to come to you first on this.
It's always a difficult decision. I think it's more important to focus on the good when there's a lot. This is one of the most chaotic games that I can remember in playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? Focusing on the good, you had a gold lead. It's about closing it out.
But you didn't start with that gold lead.
That's
to Mark's
true.
point, that's almost what worries me, is that you were in the hole to begin with. Yes, you wrestled you could control away, but then you threw it. Are you really latching onto that middle game there?
Go for it.
They should have had that early game,
Yes.
right? And I think if you run that back, the majority of the time with the comp they had, they actually start the game in a much more solid position. And maybe they get to a 15K gold lead, and maybe that's enough to shut down Closer late.
Well, 100 Thieves with an absolute statement game here in game number 3 to take the lead in this series 2-1. We'll see if Closer and the rest of 100 Thieves can clutch it out here in our 4th game of the day. Get that spot in the LCS Championship right after this.
Initializing legendary moments.
Take a look while you can, because if you blink, you'll miss it.
I'm sure you've heard the news.
Gold, gold, and more gold.
Here comes the big play.
Oh, that's perfect
Timing. You can see this one coming.
They get what they need. They got the mids. They got the support. They got the top.
Are they going to give you some fun League of Legends? Yes, sir.
Welcome to the LCS.
FTX, official cryptocurrency exchange partner of the LCS.
Sequence complete.